Good morning, sixth graders. Today's lesson is lesson 140, and you guys are going to be reading pages 268 to 269. We're just going to read the life in Timbuktu, and I am going to put another video link on our page for you to watch the video of Timbuktu. It's just something interesting that you can watch later. Today's lesson won't be long. It's just these 2 pages, and I want you to take a moment to pause the pause me, and just read the 2 pages right now. And while you wait, I'll sit here and wait for you. I want to sing another Bible song for you. Let's see. Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, 5 little stones he took. 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air, and the giant came tumbling down. Told you I knew another Bible character song. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Timbuktu. Hopefully you read that, and you just ignore my beautiful singing voice. Anyway, so the one thing about Timbuktu, it was at the edge of the Sahara, and it was within a few, if you just read that, few miles of the Niger River, which made it an ideal location. Now, why would being around the Niger River be an ideal location? Anybody want to take a guess? Hold on for a second. I have a dog that's wanting to get in. Okay, it's raining, and yes, I'm in my pajamas. I call officially pajama day. Anyway, so now I'm going to be professional here. Okay, so it was located along the edge of the Sahara within a few miles of the Niger River, and this made it easier for traders that were coming across the desert in their caravans, or people who were coming along the river, and they could stop in Timbuktu. It'd be like a town, you know, when you're traveling sometimes and you want to stop and eat, or you want to go to the bathroom. There's always these towns that have, you know, McDonald's and Taco Bell and Wendy's and all these places, you know. I know when I go to Disneyland, if I go to Disneyland, I stop right before the Grapevine, and we just eat at that patrol place, and everybody can pick where they want to eat, get gassed, and then go on. Well, Timbuktu was kind of like that. It was the happening place at this time. And also, you still have social classes. The social classes had the nobles first, which were like the kings and the queens and the knights and all the people. And then you had the priests. Priests were very, very important back then. You had the traders, not like Benedict Arnold trader, but you know what I mean, trading things. And then you had the merchants, people who sold things at the stores. It was kind of like, more like a flea market type of a thing. Okay, then you have the different religions, but the main religion in Timbuktu was Islamic, and people studied the Quran, and Timbuktu had 150 Islamic schools that were funded by the government, and it's still a happening place today. The minaret, or tower, was in the center of the mosque. It was used for calling Muslims to prayer. I don't remember when we were talking about the Islamic religion before, and I played that call of prayer where, you know, 5 times a day they had that, like, it was kind of like a creepy sound. I thought it was creepy, but it would, you know, this music would remind them that they were going to go, and they had to face towards Mecca and pray, you know, 5 times a day. Very devoted people. Okay. So then we have Askaya Muhammad. He implemented, if you can see, if you read about it, what did he implement? He implemented the Islamic law. And then who was the person who helped the emperor? If you read, that would probably be under the organized cities and government. Okay, governors of the empire's provinces and officials who directed policy in areas like finance. So those are the people who kind of helped him. Now, why would the emperor have needed both the governors and the officials? Why do you think that would be the case? Give you a second to think about it. This is where you have to like put on your thinking caps. Okay, so the officials would have made sure that the emperor's policies in an area like finance were consistent across the empire. Governors would have been in charge of local enforcements of policies. So in order to keep things fair, sometimes there's been problems in the past with companies when the financial person is not honest. Maybe he'll keep the money for himself, or he's not keeping good books. And it's important to have it separate so that, you know, that the emperor is not accused of cheating. Okay, and it's going to be fair throughout the city. Why did city-states develop? Oh, sorry about that. Siri just kind of decided it wanted to talk to. Siri wanted to answer the question. So why did city-states develop on the western coast of Africa? And this is important too. They grew out of trading ports, which traded and sold goods from the interior kingdoms of Africa to the Arabs and the Persians. And then let's see. Name 4 job categories in Timbuktu and tell what each provided for the people of the civilization. Let's see. Who haven't I called on? I want to give a shout out to a bunch of you, but sometimes I do not get you all. I'm trying to picture where you're all sitting. I know Gabby. Miss you, Gabby. Let's see. So one of the things is farmers. What do you think they provided? Food, right? And then traders. What do you think they did? They provided goods from the civilization. So if you wanted to get salt or gold or whatever the case was be. Artisans provided functional artisans like silverware, bowls, forks. I don't think they used forks back then. And then the warriors, they provided security. So those are the 4 job categories. And then it says, what type of things would livestock have provided for the people? Well, the obvious thing is food, right? Livestock, food. But it was kind of because, well, no, that's different. And then, like their hides or their fur or their, you know, could have clothing. You can make it for food. I know that when we study the Native Americans, they use every part of the buffalo. They use the bones for weapons and things like that. So that was very useful. And then, why do you think that if you look at the picture before the mosque, if you look on that page, there's sandals there. Why do you think the sandals are outside the mosque? Well, this keeps it, like a lot of cultures, you take off your shoes before you enter the house, you know, just to keep things clean. I know now with the coronavirus, they're telling people to go ahead and take your shoes off so you don't bring in germs. The people in the Muslim, it keeps the mosque clean and it's a sign of respect. I know when I went to Israel a long time ago, in Jerusalem, you know that gold dome, it's called the Dome of the Rock. It's the thing, if you see pictures of Jerusalem, you'll see it. Anyway, it's a huge Muslim mosque. And before we could go into that mosque, we had to take out our shoes. To this day, I don't know how in the world my shoes weren't stolen, but also to this day, the smell that I remember was stinky feet. I mean, it was gross. And so when you see this, whenever I see that beautiful picture of that mosque, all I can do is remember the smelly feet because, you know, they just, you know, if you have hundreds and hundreds of people taking your shoes off and they're walking around and some of them aren't very clean, it's just really stinky. So this is the culture around the world. I know in Japan they do that. A lot of Asian families take off their shoes. We take off our shoes when we enter the house too, but that is just because I don't think it's a culture thing. It's just a preference thing. But yeah, that's it for today. There's not much more to really talk about. I hope you're doing well. I hope things are going great. Tomorrow we'll discuss more about Africa's people, the different people in Africa. They're very interesting. And there's a section in here where you can do your own tie-dye shirts because the African people have really bright clothing and stuff. And that's one of the things we could have done in class. But if you want to do your own tie-dye, I don't know if you have an opportunity to go out. I know with this, you know, quarantine, a lot of us can't go out. But if you get a chance and if you want to, you can do your own tie-dye shirt. It gives you instructions on how to do it. If you have any questions about anything, once again, don't forget you do not have to do your activity manual, but just sending me a link or something that you've learned, or just let me know that you watched the video, okay? And I hope to see you later. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.